If you've ever attended a virtual summit before, you know that most of them are generally free to attend. But then, as part of the summit promotion, an all access pass is usually sold on the back end after the event. In fact, the all access pass is usually the largest revenue stream overall from a virtual summit standpoint. Now, of course, there are other options. You can have a paid summit where the tickets to the summit are paid, and you might see hosts that are pitching a course or a membership or a service rather than having an all access pass at all. But for this video, I want to stick with the most traditional approach. It's the one that we use the most often, and that's using an all access pass. We're going to talk about how it works and most importantly, why it works and why it's a good idea to have one. And that's all coming up today on Renegade News. Welcome back to Renegade News. I'm your host, Glenn Kowalski. Every week on this channel, we discuss how entrepreneurs and other freedom lovers just like you can build cancel culture-proof businesses, get back your data sovereignty and your privacy, and create a bigger impact in your business so that you can break free from the system once and for all. So what is this all access pass? Well, with an all access pass, attendees can purchase ongoing access to your summit presentations rather than only being able to watch them live or for maybe 24 hours after the event. As a part of this offer, you can also do things like including bonuses, and we usually do. For example, like reports that are contributed by the speakers, transcripts are a common one that we have. We use notes quite often. You can also do events like co-working and networking sessions that are in addition to the virtual summit and an add-on. Before we go on too far, I just want to let you know that we're doing a special virtual summit focusing on creating a bigger impact while becoming completely cancel-proof. And as you probably know, in this cancel culture rampant world, it's getting more and more difficult for you to get your message out without feeling like you're walking on eggshells all the time. Say the wrong things and you're going to lose your advertising account. You're going to lose your social media platforms, and you could even lose your email provider and your hosting provider. And that's why we created the Cancel Proof Summit. At this one-of-a-kind summit, you'll learn exactly how to make your business completely cancel-proof. And you're also going to learn how to gain back your data sovereignty and your privacy. You can learn more at cancelproofsummits.com. Okay, let's get right back into it and talk about how you should structure your all-access pass. And the good news is there's no real right way to do this. But there are 4 options for how this could look, depending on what your goals are and how you actually want to run your event. The first option is your early bird tickets. And what that means is the price of the tickets at the start of the promotion are lower than they are at the day that you actually go live. And they can actually rise up every few days up to the day you go live and then get more expensive after the summit actually goes live. This is probably one of the most popular ways to sell different tiers of tickets as you're going through the event. You can also include things like an early bird special bonus for those who sign up early, maybe an extra exclusive ebook, for example, or an exclusive video, whatever. Different incentives to get people to sign up early before the event even starts. So for the example that we're going to talk through, just so we can use some numbers, let's say that the early bird pricing starts at about $69. This is going to vary based on the event. We're just going to use that just to kind of talk how the structuring of these events would go. So let's say for this example that before the event, let's say 3 weeks before the event, the all access pass goes for $69. So someone signs up for free for the summit, they get the all access pass offered to them right away, immediately, and they can get in for $69. Now, if they don't take that offer, we have what's called the at the door ticket price. And that price is only available during the event, but it's going to be higher than the early bird tickets if they'd bought immediately when they first signed up weeks in advance. Usually it's only going to be about $20 to $30 more if you're using a different starting price for that price. So it's going to be more than the on-the-spot early bird ticket price, but still fairly reasonable throughout the day of the actual event. As you're doing the summit that way, you can have like live chats as you're talking through it. This could even be pre-recorded, but you can ask your summit attendees if they, for example, missed the days before presentation. And this is a great way that you can encourage tickets to be bought on the day of the event. You know, on day 2, say, hey, did you miss yesterday's session? Well, you can get the tickets today to get lifetime access for only $99, for example. After that initial period, so after the event is completed, then you're going to come up with more of an evergreen price. And that evergreen price is going to be essentially what you sell that summit for, the recordings of that summit for going forward. And for that, you're usually going to want to add at least $20 to $40 more or 20 to 40% more than the early bird ticket price and the at the door price. Sometimes you can use the door price. I usually like to tack on just a little bit extra just to give a bonus for the people who actually took advantage of it early. Having this evergreen product on your website makes a great up or down sell for other products that you have in your funnel. You can have it in your store. You can offer it as a upsell to a lower ticket book offer, for example, or it can work as a great front end to get people into your other programs later on. Another option that a lot of people are going with now is to mix and match these. So you can choose more than one different option, and you can deliver some content right as somebody buys, and then some of it a little bit later. It's up to you and what your workflow actually looks like for getting the content for the promotion out that you need. We talked about earlier about an early bird bonus. You can also do things like a during the summit bonus, for example. You can offer a special price, but only if they get in within the next week. There's all sorts of ways that you can mix and match your details. But the one thing that you always want to keep in mind is you never want to drop the price. So I don't like punishing my early bird ticket holders by saying, okay, they bought on the spot, and then after the event, they can buy it for cheaper. That's never a good idea. It's going to leave a bad taste in people's mouths. So my rule is that you can keep the same event, same early bird prices through the event if you want, but as soon as the event ends, you have to add on a certain ticket price to that for any of the recordings. And that's just as a bonus for the people who got in early. Now, I have heard the justification that, well, those people can't see it live and you should pay extra for the advantage of being able to view it live. If you want to take that route, I think that's okay, provided it's well spelled out as to why it's a little bit less money now as the recordings go. But the one thing you don't want to do is punish the people who actually spent money earlier and have them thinking that if they'd waited longer, they could get a better deal. Another thing that you can do with your early access is if you're using a pre-recorded summit, you can actually give those early access ticket holders access to the event in advance or access to all of the day's events. So let's say you have a 5-day event. Normally with a free ticket holder on day one, you would give them day one content, the day two content, and so on. If somebody purchases either with the early bird ticket or at the door during day one or day two, they can get access to day 3 and day 4 and day 5 if those are pre-recorded. That's one option that makes an incentive for somebody who wants to be able to get all that access right away. And it gives them an incentive to purchase. So that's another thing to think about. I've seen that done. It's not something I do a lot, but I do see the advantage of doing it. And that's something we might test more in the future. One of the most common ways of making money with a virtual summit, and when you're selling these all access passes, is rather than doing it just as a single all access pass, but you can actually sell it as a tier type of system and only make certain options available to paid audience members or certain features available only to those who have paid at a certain level. You can, for example, offer an all-access pass that allows members to access all the event activities, presentations, and post-event video content. You could then also offer a reduced access pass or a limited access pass for access to the event, but then omit access to the post-event video, for example, or certain features, or maybe certain breakout rooms that aren't available if you're at a lower tier. You can offer like a VIP type of access pass, which has special access to events and activities, but those are only reserved for VIP guests. So there's all sorts of ways you can structure that all access pass at different levels by giving certain perks to different levels. And by having a tiered access level, you're not only providing the pass that's right for the audiences of all demographics and with varied budgets, but you're also creating a sense of urgency or desire to purchase those certain passes. So for example, if you have a limited number of VIP passes, that's going to create urgency for people who are already considering buying that VIP option because now they know that they might miss out if they don't take action now. When you're selling your passes to your virtual summit, it's also a good idea to increase the pricing for all access levels as you get nearer to the event. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but you're increasing the urgency. If people know that the prices are going to get higher as you get closer to the event, they're more likely to take action earlier. And that's what you want. It's better to take less money early, generally speaking, just to get people to move. But if you do that, you want to make it clear in your marketing that the pass access prices are going to be tiered and that they're going to be increasing as we get closer to that date. You can do that with a timer that says, price increase in 72 hours, for example. That's one way of doing it. And that's a great option. And it really does raise the urgency without being an artificial type of urgency placed on it. because you actually have a timer and you actually are raising that price. And again, this creates that urgency so that your audience is going to be more likely to purchase early on. Now, when you actually go to sell your all access pass, nobody wants ongoing access to presentations for $20 or whatever your price is going to be. The offer needs to be appealing and give them a real reason to buy now, not just, hey, you're going to get these forever. You want to call out the benefits of doing that. Now, two of the biggest selling points of the All Access Pass are, first of all, is time. That's the biggest one. That's why I bought All Access Pass, because very few people are really going to be able to sit through 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days of content from 9 a.m. in the morning until 5 p.m. at night. It just doesn't happen that way. Most people can see part of the event and they're likely to sign up just so they can catch part of it, but they can't watch it all. If the event's good, they're going to want to see those other events that they missed, and they're likely to buy the all access event. The next reason is just the value. And if you're providing lots of valuable content, it's going to be impossible. Even if you sit through all the events, you're not going to be able to catch everything in notes. You're not going to be able to write notes. You're not going to remember everything that's said. So if you can expand on that value of how much more valuable it's going to be able to watch those events over and over again, to have notes and transcripts if those are your bonuses that you're giving away. All of that adds to the value and makes that investment make more sense. You can also do things like enter people in some type of crazy giveaway if they actually buy the all access pass, and that adds value that you're getting if you upgrade. So one of the other fun things about the all access pass, and I think it's vital to really having good success with that, is that you can put any sort of bonus on there that you'd like to have. Now, those bonuses can include things like courses, that can include workshops. You can have live sessions. You can set up co-working sessions between attendees. You can also do bonus interviews. Those are always fun. You can have physical products. And there's so many different ideas for what you can actually do with bonuses, where the bonuses themselves become even more valuable than the actual sum that you're selling. And there's really 2 ways that you can make those bonuses work for you, and you can actually create those bonuses. The first one is you can ask your speakers if they'd like to contribute anything so that you have a big multi-winner giveaway, a big bonuses from the other speakers, and that just makes it super valuable. You can also include links to all of your speakers' opt-ins, and that's something that I recommend you always do anyway for everyone, because that makes it valuable to your speakers. You're also obviously going to give away replays of all the presentations and those types of things as well. In order to make this work though, and to make these add-on bonuses work, is the giveaway can only be available to those people who have actually purchased the all access pass. So these can't be the included opt-ins that you're giving everybody. This has to be something special that you need the all access pass to get access to. And you can talk to your speakers about that as well. If they have different levels of giveaways that they're willing to give out, or maybe a bonus that they're willing to give to the paid attendees, because those paid attendees are obviously better leads for them as well. They can actually give out those big types of bonuses, and you can bundle those together into this enormous package that you're giving away to all of your paid attendees. You can get that bonus. You can also do something next level by taking actual paid products from your summit speakers. And then you can take those bonuses, those paid bonuses, bundle them all together and only give them to a select number of winners. But in order to enter to be a winner, you have to be an all access pass holder. Now, by doing this, by including your speakers' bonuses in there, both as free opt-ins and as more of a paid, bigger prize type of giveaway, you're actually being mutually beneficial to both the audience and to the speaker, because as the speakers are giving away these awesome things, the audience is really getting to know those speakers and what kind of services and products that those speakers are giving away. And those things, even if they don't win or might be things that they could buy later. The other way to make these bonuses work is just make them a limited time bonuses and just say that the bonuses are going to go away if they don't sign up in time. So you can have, if they sign up on the day of the event, there's a certain, or before, there's a certain number of bonuses. Once the event is over, when you sign up, you're not going to get those same bonuses. That's another way of handling the event and creating that urgency. So pricing of your all access pass is something you really have to think about and strategize, because now we're saying the event itself is free. You're getting all this information is free, but we also want to talk about like pricing that all access pass and how that's going to look and how it's going to actually work. So it could cause you to think like, is it a free event? Is it a paid event? Well, the summit itself is free. We've already talked about that. And anyone can come in and watch it during the streaming time frame, during that small period of time, 24 hours or live, depending on how you're running it. And that's all they can see. They can just see it during that running time frame. However, and the only investment they're making in that to see those videos is giving away their email address. And they need to do that and give a valid email address, because the only way they're going to be able to see those videos during the time frame of the live event is if they have an email to be able to send those links to. So if you don't get that day's email, you're not going to have the speaker links at all. The All Access Pass is for access after the videos have been taken down. So with most events, you'll get access to the live event, and then you can watch the replays for up to 24 hours. Sometimes it's up to 48 hours. I like 24 hours. I think that's plenty of time when you're giving it away for free. So for free, you can only watch for that 24-hour period. After the 24 hours is up, the videos are then placed into the All Access Pass vault, where only All Access Pass members are able to access them. But as you're pricing that All Access Pass, there's a few mistakes that you can make, and these mistakes are vital to watch out for. The first one, because pricing, it can feel a little bit tricky, especially because you've given away the event for free. So you really want to think about this. But the thing is, with this All Access Pass, you don't want to go too low. You don't want to devalue your speakers and all of the bonuses that you're giving, especially those bonuses that are just for All Access Pass holders. But on the other hand, you don't want to go so high that no one actually buys, because this is going to be the biggest driver of your event. So you have to get that right balance in there. So the first mistake that you can make is make pricing it too low. If you're selling an All Access Pass for $19, it just doesn't look that valuable to all your attendees. The price straight up says that there's really not a lot of value here in this offer. And if you've placed these thousands of dollars of bonuses that your speakers have contributed, but then you sell it for like $19 or $47, you're really downplaying that value, and you're not honoring your speakers either. So that's a huge mistake. The next mistake, of course, is pricing that All Access Pass too high. And with that, you really have to watch out that most of the people who see this offer are part of a cold audience. Generally speaking, with the types of summits that we're selling an All Access Pass to, it's a front end, it's a cold traffic acquisition tool. And these people don't really know who you are. So they still need this easy yes to get started. And they've already watched this one time for free. So if you got a cold audience who doesn't know you and they're coming to sign up for this summit and it's completely free, that's great. They might want an All Access Pass because they want to get this information forever. But if you price it like $1,000, it's like they don't know you, they haven't seen the summit yet, they don't know how good it is. Remember, the best pricing is before the summit actually launches. They're not likely to take you up on it because they just don't know what they're getting for that price. But that being said, you don't want to assume that your audience can't afford anything, because people are going to pay for you to solve their problems. And as long as you're solving their problems, people aren't going to blink at $97, $197, even $297, depending on the type of summit that you're running. Provided the value is there and what's actually being delivered, don't assume that everybody is broke, they can't afford it. Don't assume what they're willing to pay. Just know what the value is that you're getting and price for it appropriately. Never undervalue what you're creating or assume that your audience isn't going to pay it. Like I said, if you're solving a problem, there's no saying what the audience is actually going to pay for them to solve that problem, so let them make the decision. And the final mistake that you can make is something that we've been talking a lot about during this video, and that's skipping those price increases, starting low and then moving towards high. People need encouragement to buy, and they need a reason to decide one way or the other. And having an All Access Pass, it's the same price a month before the event, the day of the event, and then selling after the event is going to hurt your conversion rates. So you want to include those price increases and give incentives for people to move early. And with that, if you use those strategies to actually raise the price throughout, use tiered pricing, that All Access Pass option added to your free summit is really definitely my favorite model, at least when you're trying to acquire new customers. If you're running a summit to your existing audience, that's a little bit different. And there, I usually would like to increase the price of the live event to a higher price and maybe always include the lifetime access to those, but always at a higher ticket. And really, it all comes down to your goals and what you're doing. But either way, summits are going to be a great way to maximize your leads, a great way to maximize your sales. So if you'd like any more information on using a summit in your business, click on the video that you see on the screen right now. And don't forget to subscribe to Renegade News and check out Renegade News Live every Friday at noon Eastern, where we'll discuss creating a cancel-proof business, breaking free from the system, and making a bigger impact. I'm Glenn Kowalski from Renegade News, and I'll see you over there.